Hello everyone, in this video we are taking a look at a mysterious message some claim was left to us by aliens or non-human intelligence. In this particular case the message was allegedly encoded in a crop circle. First, let's say a few words on the crop circle phenomenon itself. The term started appearing in early 1980s when people observed strange geometric patterns of relatively large size appearing around in the fields, usually of cereal plants, although grass has also been observed as the circle material. The peak of popularity of those structures was probably around early 1990s when two gentlemen named Doug Bower and Dave Charley, being at a respectable age, took credit for creating over 200 of such structures across England. Some people point out that these structures could not be created by two elderly guys running around at night with cumbersome contraptions they apparently used to flatten the plants. Especially on short summer nights, creation of complex geometric patterns in poor artificial lighting with such precision as we can see in some of the pictures seems very much impossible. Not to mention that the phenomenon was described as early as late 17th century already. In some cases, the circles seem to exhibit traces of radiation, which would be characteristic for UAP activity, thus suggesting an alien origin of the phenomenon. The crop circle we are talking about today appeared on 15th of August 2002 in Hampshire, in the south of the UK, close to a local radio tower. We can see it in the picture on the screen right now. The picture seems to depict what is a typical grey alien holding a disc, with what is claimed to be a binary message encoded in it. To the left of the figure there is a depiction of three dots, which align to the Orion's belt visible in the night sky during the winter, or the colder part of the year. The message was allegedly decoded by a gentleman named Paul Vigay, and it seems to read as follows: "Much pain but still time. Believe. There is good out there. We oppose deception. Conduit closing." Let's try to unpack the message. The general consensus seems to be that the grey alien depicted here would be a representative of the alleged Orion Empire, reported by some experiencers, usually associated with the stereotypical grey aliens and possibly evil according to human morality. It would be the same species which has landed in the 1950s in the US and allegedly met with President Eisenhower, with the meeting eventually leading to a treaty with this NHI, which the American administration later came to regret. The good part of the message is often referred to the more benevolent alien races of NHIs, varying from visitors from the Pleiades cluster, also known as tall whites or Nordic aliens, or from Sirius and other various star systems. Though as NHI are also reported to have created the so-called Galactic Federation, mentioned by the former Canadian Minister of Defense late Paul Hellyer or Haim Eshed, the Israeli Space Force commander. Much pain but still time. This is open to interpretation. Some people claim this refers to abductions carried out by grey aliens, others mention the alleged unfavorable treaty with the same species. The Galactic Federation we have mentioned would be the ones opposing the pain and the deception, having the good of humanity in their interest. Now we also come to the gift parts from the deceivers. The theory concerning the treaty entered into as a result of the meeting at the Holloman Air Force Base suggests often that the grey aliens were allowed to carry out abductions of humans in exchange for technology, which was given in quantities lower than expected and was never really reverse engineered at levels as useful as the human side of the treaty had expected. There is another side to the gift part. We have heard some people, just to name Professor Diana Pasulka, mentioning crashed UFOs as gifts or donations made to humanity so we can progress technologically rather than actual crashes. On a related note, there exists another theory which says that in 2027, which is the 80th anniversary of the famous Roswell crash, the same species which has lost a craft and comrades in New Mexico back then is going to return and reclaim what was taken and which is held by the secret UFO program, the bodies and the remains of the crashed saucer. The conduit closing part is usually understood twofold. The first interpretation is simple, the end of transmission. The conduit was closed, the crop circle completed. The other interpretation hints that the time window for communication and possibly for help from the good aligned aliens may be running out and soon will be closed, and it is up to us to ask them for their help. Even more fringe theory says it has something to do with a possible rapture-like event, during which those believing in good aliens will be saved, while the rest of the humanity will fall prey to the false messiahs and their darker plans. Is this story true? Believers point out to the mysterious death of Paul Vigay, the guy who has deciphered the crop circle message. He was a sort of an early computer prodigy in the 1980s as a teenager and continued to work as a computer technician into the late 2000s. His private interests included the UFOs, poltergeist activity and other occult phenomena. Vigay was reported missing on the 19th of February 2009 and was found dead the day later. The police failed to clarify whether he died as a result of an accident or whether it was a suicide. He split up with his girlfriend the night before he died, leaving a note saying "I love you" with a telephone code and computer passwords. According to the British Telegraph newspaper, his death was deemed to be a mystery by the coroner examining his death. His website still exists, and if you want to, you can visit it by clicking the link in the comment section below. The mysterious death would match other deaths of people who happen to have stumbled upon profound UFO-related mysteries, such as John Mack, the famous psychiatrist from the Harvard University studying the aftermath of the 1994 mass UFO sighting in Zimbabwe, who died in a car accident often considered to be very suspicious as well. People claiming there to be truth point out that several technologies we use today may come from past UFO crashes, and these claims include inventions such as transistors, memory materials, carbon fibers, lasers, Kevlar, stealth technology used in aircraft, and so on. People who do not believe this entire story point out that the decoding could simply be conjured out of thin air, and the death of Paul Vigay being a suicide, which is quite frankly an actual possibility too, and the entire interpretation are just an attempt to add a meaning to the entire story, which has no base in reality whatsoever. What is your opinion on the case, dear viewers? Let me know in the comment section down below. I myself remain slightly skeptical here, but then again, stranger stories surrounding non-human intelligences and UAPs circle around, some of which have been reported before the US Congress in publications such as the French Cometa report or by the Brazilian Air Force. I am keeping an open mind and hope that we get a more convincing clarification of the case in the future, one way or another. I continue to keep my eyes on UFO news, but the traction seems to slow down now, other than David Grush being now officially employed by Representative Eric Burleson as his advisor, and Apple adding one more disclosure-themed movie to the list of titles expected in the foreseeable future. Unless something changes, I am planning a slightly longer video next week, dedicated to the infamous Colares UFO event in Brazil. Until then, thank you for watching, stay safe and warm, like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I will see you soon in the next one. Take care.